I'm sitting here at the park benches just waiting for my lunch to arrive while watching the general aviation aircraft here of the air.
United Tango Victor, Roger, runway 09, clear for takeoff, surface wind 150 degrees, 4 knots.
Runway 09, clear for takeoff, easy 93 Tango Victor.
Hello, Flight Sim fans, and welcome to the Practically Geek channel. In this episode of the best free add-ons for Microsoft Flight Simulator, I've headed over to Slovenia to check out not one, not two, but 3 airfields by Neptune 11, and you can download these off flightsim.to. I will leave the links for them in the description down below. Unlike my RAF Valley video, which I featured on my channel last year, I showed you a couple of more air bases from the UK. This will be a bit different. I'll be going to each airfield here in Slovenia and giving you a good look at the changes Neptune 11 has made to them. Starting with the newest of Neptune 11 sceneries is Metlika Airfield, and this is near to the border of Croatia. And as you can see, it's just a small airfield. There's 2 buildings here which kind of represent the 2 hangars here at the airfield. Obviously, I'm not going to be overly critical with these autogen buildings today because they are smaller airfields we're taking a look at. Interestingly, as Neptune 11 mentions in his download page, the official status of this airport is actually a landing strip. The Flight Sim actually gives it a fictional ICAO code, which is Lima Juliet Charlie Romeo. So with that being said, there's actually not really much else we can check out with the default scenery. So let's head into Neptune 11's scenery and check out what he's done with this lovely little airfield. Welcome back to Metlika Airport here in Slovenia. I'm sitting here at the park benches just waiting for my lunch to arrive while watching the general aviation aircraft here of the airfield. And already, as you can see, there has been changes made, of course, by Neptune 11. So let's head up top, let's head up in the air and have a little overview of what he's done, and then we'll get in closer and see some of the finer details. And what a fabulous amount of changes there has been to this airfield. Neptune 11 has really gone above and beyond with this one. There was 2 autogen buildings here before within the default scenery, but you can see he's gone in and he's just added in quite a lot, hasn't he, really? The grass runway now has markers to indicate where it is. The satellite imagery, you can see dirt where the planes obviously land and take off. The hangar that wasn't even there before has now been added in, and the dirt around the front of it, the perimeter fencing as well. It is fantastic actually, and we'll head down now and take a closer look at some of the things he's done. Heading down the main path past the car park, which obviously has been added in now with some of the default Asobo assets, the cars. Over on the right, a lot of custom buildings. There's sort of gazebo type sort of buildings, and the bunting along the edges of the roadway here are fantastic. Lovely little intricate detail in the, you can obviously see the string and the wire that's holding on the bunting, the custom signage. What I'm seeing is that the quality of the modeling and the texturing is actually really fantastic for such a small airfield. We've got a custom aerolite model here as well. Fantastic livery, by the way. Love the flames. I'll see if we can get the proper picture of that up if the registration is correct. The apron way is done to a really good texture standard, and as you can see, the big letters appearing for Metlika Airfield as it appears in real life. The Aero Club control tower, small little quaint control tower there, modelled fantastically. Again, the hangars look great. We'll get closer to them in just a second. And another small general aviation aircraft, and I'm sorry, I actually don't know what this one is. I'll pop it on the screen now again if the registration corresponds to a real life aircraft. It's lovely to see that we get a little small interior of the control tower here at Metlika, and you can even see that this controller is taking a break and playing a bit of Microsoft Flight Simulator with his is Hotas's joystick there. It's a little fantastic. You can actually also see the wire coming off the joystick as well. It's really, really great. Lovely little work, lovely little detail. I love that. Another lovely little detail here. This bottle of, I'm assuming this is wine. It could be a large bottle of beer. If you do know what that beer or wine is, please let me know. I'm not going to even attempt to try and pronounce the name of it. But yeah, lovely little detail again, just outside of the control tower on the bench. And within the hangar, we've got a good level of detail. The texture and the model work, once again, as we said before, is really good standard. You can see little things like plugs on the wall. You can see the circuit breaker box to the right. We've got another custom Aerolite aircraft. And then we've got a glider that's in pieces. You can see its wings and its ailerons and such hanging on the wall. It's, again, that's really nice little detailing, wooden pallets and tools and just everything that you would find in a hangar. Lovely little bit of detail there. And before I give you a quick look at the night lighting here at the airport, or sorry, the airfield, I just wanted to show you the lovely real life pictures on the hangar. And what we've seen from outside is just, you know, we even saw that tractor. It was obviously on the other side of the control tower, but we saw that exact same tractor, and it's great to see that Neptune has put so much detail, and he's really done a great recreation of this airfield. Let's have a look at the night lighting, and then I will do a small before and after, and then we'll move up north and see another airfield by Neptune. So let's turn back our watches and clocks to 1 AM and check out the night lighting for Metlika Airfield. And there we go. Doesn't it look really, really good? I mean, compared to what we had in the fault scenery, it is miles better. You've got lights on the side of the control tower. You've got this kind of red bulb inside the interior of the control tower. Let me know in the bottom, in the comments rather, if that is correct. I couldn't really find a picture online to back that up, but I'm assuming it is. The level of detail that Neptune has added into these sceneries, from what I've seen so far, is pretty spot on, and I do like the lighting we're getting from inside the hangar as well. And just over to the left of the control tower, you can see the lighting from the hangar. Let's just go further out and see if we can see any more lighting, and then we'll have a look at the before and after for this airfield. I'm assuming that this airfield does have some kind of night or late evening operations for flights, because you can see the grass strip edge markings do illuminate, and they illuminate really well within this scenery. The hangars that you can see on the main area of the airfield are all lit up like we saw before, and the control tower, and it lights the immediate area really well. And that is pretty much it for Metlika Airfield. Let's take a look at what the airport looked like, well, sorry, the airfield looked like before and what it looks like now, and then we'll head up north and check out more airfields by Neptune 11. About 2 hours drive north of Metlika, we find ourselves in Celje, in Slovenia, of course, and we're here to check out the airfield or the airport here at Celje. I hope I'm saying that right. Obviously, I am on different websites and pronunciation to make sure that I am pronouncing it well, but of course I'm not going to be able to say it in the native tongue, but I hope that's correct. Let's take a look at Celje Airfield by Neptune 11 and see what the default scenery looks like first, of course, and then head into Neptune 11 scenery. Celje Airport, Lima, Juliet, Charlie, Lima here in Slovenia is a quite a decent size grass strip airport, and it's obviously a bit bigger than what we saw at Metlika. You can see that the runway itself is marked out and it is quite wide as well. Some little facts from the download page that Neptune 11 has provided for us. It's a sports airport. It's home to the Aero Club Celje, which was formed in 1928. It's host to gliders and the General Aviation School and some private aircraft. There is 3 hangars in real life. The Autogen has only managed to pick up this main hangar with sort of, again, and maybe another small hangar to the right. And in 2016, the old hangar was set on fire by lightning and then it was rebuilt. So some interesting facts there. It's a bit bigger than what we saw at Metlika, obviously, and it's obviously an airport, so it does have a genuine ICAO code. But with that being said, I think, again, nothing much to see within the default scenery here. Let's jump into the scenery by Neptune 11 and see what he's done with this airfield. Welcome back to Celje Airfield here in Slovenia. I'm just waiting for my beer as I soak up the sun here at the airfield, and it's lovely weather. Let's see what changes that Neptune has made to this airfield, and I can already see quite a lot, as you can tell, but let's have a little look at what it looks like from above, and then we'll get down and check out some of the finer details that he's added within the scenery. Once again, from Neptune, we can see considerable upgrades made to this scenery. I love how he's gone in and retextured the ground, the grass and the runway. The edge markings look more defined now, more true to life. You can see the dirt where the aircraft wheels have been treading across the grass, and obviously compared to the default scenery, you get all the lovely roadways and gravelways. The air sock on its own little sort of section there looks fantastic. All the gliders on the edge of the, I would call it a small taxiway. And he's even gone in, and if you see just behind the trees there, he's taken the river and he's done some, I would say, landscape and terraforming, and made the river look a lot more true to life. The trees have all been changed to look more like the ones that are in this area. Again, the hangars, you now get the right amount of hangars, and I love the tennis court just further along there with its own sort of perimeter fencing. It all looks really great. Starting over to the entranceway of Celje Airport, or Airfield if you like, you can see that Neptune has put in some lovely custom, or I would say not chain link fencing. I don't know what you would call it, but in the center of shot you can see there's some benches facing the building, and this kind of barrier almost with sort of the chains, and the chains are that well rendered. You can see all that well modeled. You can see each individual one. The barriers, the stop signs look really, really great. Sort of, I would say, the front entrance for visitors over there, and just on the right of shot closest to us, you can see sort of a staff entrance. Around the back of the hangars, you can see pallets, and you can even see the ladder or the stairs going up to the top of the roof for any maintenance work. Let's get a bit closer, and actually there's also animated flags as well on a freeware scenery, which is always great to see. Making our way from right to left, again you can see the other side of where I was located just then. The animated flags are animated really well. You can see that they are in a loop, but the physics of how they're moving within the wind looks really great. You can see bins, and the yellow benches look really well modeled. The building itself, texture-wise, again, good work. You can see there's dirt on the top by the Aero Club Celje sign. There's an interior to the hangar. We'll take a look at that in a few moments. And the fronts of the hangars themselves, the model work is really fantastic. Actually, you can see the intricacy of the metal sort of structures, the security light, which I'm guessing will illuminate in the night lighting, which again we'll take a look at. Again, the dirt and the texture is really good actually for you know, a freeware scenery. The aerial between the two fronts of these hangars, the hangar doors, and again the brickwork have all got lovely levels of texture, and the weathering and the dirt is not repeated. It doesn't look sort of fake, you know. It looks real. The cafe that I was at before at the start looks, again, it just, all this just looks really good. The custom foliage on the side of the walls of the hangar there, and again this lovely tennis court, which, you know, again it's got the custom signage, the chain link fence, and the spotlight. I'd love to see the night lighting on that in just a moment. The fuel, the custom fuel point here, again, lovely render and section, love it. And yes, if you were wondering, there are tennis balls on the ground of the tennis court, and I love the, am I saying it right? Umpire? Umpire? It is umpire, isn't it? You can see the umpire's chair there with the lovely Banca Celje advertisement boards heading around. And again, the quality of the perimeter fencing and the net as well. It's almost like you can come here and do some tennis, Microsoft Tennis Simulator, isn't it? Just a closer look at the cafe area here. You can see it's got its own custom signage on the wood panel in here. The Bar Cafe Espresso just on the right of shot. The fridge for the ice creams, and the advertisement board for what they sell, different ice creams and lollies. And then the bar area, you've got a custom lady who looks really bored. This guy must be really boring here with his conversation, but really he shouldn't be drinking on a shift, should he? But again, texture wise, the wood, the benches, the wood for the actual bar itself look really good. Lovely modeling as well, and it is worth mentioning that it is a freeware. And just like with Metlika Airfield, you are getting some lovely real-life pictures of Celje Airfield here. You can see the actual pictures of when it went on fire as well. You can see top right is must be sort of the hollowed out remains of the building, and then the pictures on the left, you can see the firefighters actually attending to the scene, and then a live shot of the fire itself, quite haunting actually. The other bits to note are obviously more circuit breaker boxes and the fire extinguishers, and then what it looks like is the aircraft tags hanging up there with all their registrations on. Fantastic work, I love it. So let's take a look at the night lighting here at Celje Airfield, and then we'll take a look at more before and after shots of this particular airfield, and then we'll head over to the east to check out another airfield by Neptune 11. For the second time in this episode, rewind your watches and clocks to 1 AM and let's check out the night lighting for this airfield. And look at that, doesn't that look fantastic? The tennis court is lit up and the hangars are all illuminated well. You can see the security lights illuminating the apron below, and the interior lighting of the hangar to the right, which we were in before. And again, we've got some lovely fake interior lighting effect and for the sort of the entrance building as well. I love how all the gliders and aircraft on the grass here are reflecting the lights of the apron lights, and also the moon above as well. There is some ambient lighting coming off of that. And overall, I think the level of night lighting within Celje and Metlika that we took a look at before have been a really high standard. I love the lights of the tennis court here, like we said before. I've even noticed, even in the dead of night now, the grime and the dirt around the edges of the apron, where you can see where the Celje sign isn't quite, you know, it's not quite bold. It's been rubbed off with the weathering, and I think that's really great standard actually. The airstrip here, the grass strip, doesn't seem to have any edge lighting like we did at Metlika, so I'm assuming there's absolutely no kind of night flying here, although the taxiway and sort of the edge lighting, not the edge lighting, but the markers for the runway and the taxiway do seem to be illuminated. So with that being said, let's jump into the before and after shots for Celje Airfield, and then we'll head east to another airfield by Neptune 11. East of Celje is Slovenske Konjice Airport, and this is going to be the final airport we take a look at in this episode. So let's take a look around at the default scenery, and then for the final time today, let's head into Neptune's Freeware scenery and see how much he's improved this airfield. Slovenske Konjice Airport, Lima Juliet Sierra Kilo, is located 6 kilometers southeast of the town of Slovenske Konjice and is the only one of today's airports that has an asphalt runway, although as you can see within the default scenery, it has actually got a gravel runway, which is a bit odd, but I've seen that before. The simulator get things wrong, like dirt runways and grass runways. There should be concrete or asphalt. Neptune 11 states in his download page the airport has a long tradition of being in continuous development and upgrades for over 40 years. The main business activity for the airport is actually to maintain that asphalt runway for landings and takeoffs. There's been almost 100,000 operations over the airport's history, and the smooth daily use of the airport is possible thanks to the asphalt runway, which was put in place in 2017. Once again, these are smaller airports slash airfields, but within the default scenery for this airport, it's got it quite well. I think the autogen buildings are correct to a certain degree. You have 3 main buildings. There's kind of a utility hut or shed maybe to the right, and then these buildings in this kind of horizontal and vertical formation, which is true to life. And I think the scaling and everything that we see here at Slovenske Konjice Airport is not too bad. But again, with that being said, I think let's not spend too much time within the default scenery. Let's jump over to Neptune's Freeware scenery and see how he's improved this airport. And welcome back to Slovenske Konjice airport here in Slovenia, and it's now time to take a look around Neptune 11 scenery for this airport and see just how much he's improved it. And I think it's safe to say that Neptune 11 has hit it out the park again with this one, this final airfield of this episode, and we are seeing the level of detail that we've seen before in the other two airfields. We'll get closer, of course, and check out more details, but we have got some lovely static sheep within there, enclosures, and more static custom aircraft which are covered as well, and the hangars and the buildings here, the custom model buildings, look fantastic. And obviously you've noticed that now the runway is the asphalt kind and it looks more true to life. So making our way from left to right across the front of the airport here. The fence seems to be broken there. Hope the sheep don't get onto the runway. But the sheep look great. They actually don't look copy and paste, so it doesn't look like a kind of a quick job. They all look like they're spread out evenly and more realistic. The petrol tanks and the cones there all add to the detail. Again, we've got this lovely bunting kind of almost temporary barrier system in front of the custom hangar, which looks great, by the way. You can see the fire engine across within between the two hangars, and lovely bits of detail in there. We'll go closer, of course, and take a look at that in a moment. The inside of this hangar here looks really fantastic. The floor and the light, and we will be getting in there and taking a good look around there. And this really unique control tower with again one of the default Asobo assets. The guy animated a model there, and the people looking on, father and son taking his son to the airfield to take a look at the planes. And again, it's just fantastic work. You can see the road has been modelled all the way around with this lovely little hut. I'd imagine it's some kind of cafe. And yeah, I absolutely love the work that Neptune 11 has done to these airfields. We'll get closer and take a look at more details. I must say, I love the model work and the texturing of this hut. That must be for the sheep. The barbed wire fencing as well is actually really well modeled. You can see it quite well within this distance, and you can just see the grains of wood on the paneling and the PBR texture reflecting off the sun. The custom aircraft look fantastic as well. I'm getting close to them, and we'll see what these look like at a much closer distance. And I feel like I'm repeating myself, but the model work of these custom objects is really great. This what looks like a Piper 28 PA28. It looks like the turbo variant, if I'm not mistaken. Just looks, the covering, it looks great. The cover for it, the top of it. Again, if this is a real aircraft, I will let you know what it looks like in real life on screen now. But again, fantastic way. I'm sure you can see the hangar in the background. We'll take a closer look at that in just a moment. But I'm very impressed with this, with all these sceneries. And again, the model of this aircraft looks fantastic. The covering, you can see the tie downs of the covers and the tie downs of the actual aircraft heading to the grass. It all looks really great. Once again, if this corresponds to a real life aircraft, I'll pop it on the screen now. Unfortunately, again, I don't know what this particular aircraft type is. There was one similar at Metlika, but I'm sure you'll tell me in the comments, and I'm sure I'll find out once I edit in. Just as you drive into the airport, there's a lovely little cafe here. Once again, Neptune has gone absolutely insane with the detailing, and the signage for the cafe looks great. If I can find a picture of this building, I'll pop it in now just so I can show you the signage and what the building looks like. I love the cute little aeroplane there. It looks like there's a mushroom popping out. I'm not too sure. You'll have to tell me in the comments. Hopefully, if Neptune, if you do watch this, you can correct some things if I've got many wrong. But I just love it. The wood texturing and modeling of the roof structure is amazing. The little bits of grass coming out the sort of the pavement area down the bottom of the building looks great. Lovely details. The brickwork in this kind of main hangar slash control tower area is just insanely detailed. I love it. I don't know if that's a flat texture or that's just intricacy at its finest. The guttering and the windows reflecting, obviously we've got more pictures of the real life airport here. I'll get closer to those in just a second and show you what they look like. And again, custom vans. It looks like a Vauxhall slash Opel van. I think the Opel in Europe, with the just so detailed. Again, the bunting across the edge of the grass and the apron area here within those tires. It's all just overwhelming. Actually, it's really. It's free. It's a freeware. Unless it's a friend or it's a reference photo taken online, it certainly looked like that Neptune has been out to these airfields and taken some shots, because that might be you there, Neptune. Let me know in the comments below. But fantastic work. You've actually gone out, or someone has gone out and provided pictures of the airport here. You can see different helicopters and general aviation aircraft and some of the staff that work at the airport. What I like about this is it looks like there's actually a bit of perspex glass or glass in front of the pictures as well because of the reflections. It does look great. You can see closer now that the brickwork certainly is more of a flat texture, but I tell you what, unless you're getting really close like I'm doing, it gives the effect of being 3D. It's fantastic. Within the hangar, you're getting fabulous details. The flooring, by the way, the reflection work that you can see every custom aircraft here. The gyrocopters look really amazing. The clock on the back wall is all visible from this distance. And again, you're getting real life photography on the back wall of all the different gyrocopters at this airport. The roof structure and lighting looks really great, but those reflections on the floor are amazing. And I really love the unique control tower or observation deck here at Slovenske Konjice Airport. Once again, the modeling and texture work is fantastic by Neptune 11. And with that said, I think it's time to jump back to 1 a.m. and check out the night lighting for the airport here, and then we'll jump into some more three before and afters in one video. Guys, I'm treating you well, aren't I? For the last time today, let's rewind those watches and clocks back to 1 a.m. and let's check out the night lighting. And just look at that. Doesn't that look really amazing? Again, you're getting some of that kind of faked interior lighting on the building just below the control. I think it's a control tower observation deck, and the hangar lighting, the interior lighting for the hangar is insanely good. Some of the best night lighting from a hangar I've seen. I remember I commented on way back last year the interior lighting for the hangar at Lid Airport by Burning Blue Designs, and that's kind of what I'm getting here, the kind of quality. The security lights, again, illuminating the apron from the left over on the hangars there, and yeah, it seems very realistic. Nothing overly sort of, it's not heavy on lighting is what I'm trying to say. It looks very realistic, very true to life. Once again, there doesn't seem to be any night operations. There certainly isn't any runway edge lighting here at Slovenske Konjice Airport. The lighting that we are getting is from the hangar area and within the main hangar with the interior. I do love the security lighting illuminating the apron along the edge of the sort of what would you call it, horizontal hangar that we're getting just left of shot here. And you can see the iCUE code of this particular airport on the apron in the white text. So I think for the last time, or rather for the last time, we should now head into the before and after section for Slovenske Konjice Airport and just see how much it's changed from default into freeware. I hope you enjoy this one. Neptune 11 has recreated some lovely airfields and airports here in Slovenia. In fact, he's got 11 currently on Flight.To. I will leave a link for his profile and the airports I've shown in the description down below. And I recommend, even if you don't do any flying here, go and grab these. He's regularly uploading new airports. The quality is getting better and better every time. This was just 3 of his most recent airfields, and I really hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up, and please consider subscribing to the Practically Geek channel for more Microsoft Flight Simulator content just like this. Thank you for watching, and I will see you again very soon.
Easy 93 Tango Victor, Roger, runway 09, clear for takeoff, surface wind 150 degrees, 4 knots.
Runway 09, clear for takeoff, easy 93 Tango Victor.